Hi Capricorn, welcome back to Omkaratarot and to your love bite. Capricorn, let's see what are the messages for you now. And a warm welcome back to all my subscribers. Welcome in newcomers. Capricorn spirit. All right, 3 cards for the first person. 8 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords. Second person, 2 of Wands, 8 of Wands and the Emperor in reverse. Okay, mutual energies, Hierophant, Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. Wow. All right, bottom of my deck I have the 10 of Swords in reverse. So somebody is really stressed out, maybe because you guys have maybe had an ending or something. There's a lot of thinking, overthinking, stressing going on because they feel this is over. This is over. My person has let me go. Whatever I did, it backfired on me. But I do love them. I do see them as my perfect match. The other person says, well, I waited long enough. I was at crossroads waiting for them to make up their mind, but I heard nothing from them. I'm sure they're still being stubborn or egoistic or prideful, and maybe they're not even my true partner. So let's see what's going to happen. Of course, I'm going to clarify these cards, Capricorn. But before that, let's start with some dialogue message cards. Let's see if you guys could say something to each other right now, what that would be, and then I'll clarify the rest. Capricorn and their person spirit, if they could say something to each other now, what would that be? Capricorn and their person spirit. Capricorn and their person. All right. Let's take a few more from a third deck, Capricorn, and then we'll start the reading. Capricorn and their person spirit. All right. Good to go. Let's start the reading. And Capricorn, if any of you are looking for personal readings, my email is omkaratarot@gmail.com. You can reach me there. It's there in the description box below as well. So the first card here, Capricorn, says, can we start from scratch? I'm sending you messages through songs. I have nightmares with you with others. I'm really going through it. I'm upset at myself. I wake up with you on my mind. I wasn't ready for unconditional love. I'm sorry I hurt you. I was stuck in my ways. I wasn't ready to change who I was to be the one that you needed. I'm sorry that our relationship didn't work out. I try to detach and let go, but then I get flooded with telepathy, dreams, and your strong energy which takes me over. Damn it. I feel like I've been fighting for your life, for you not only to stay alive, but for you to be your authentic self and to thrive. I want to see you embrace your dreams, fly free from everything that's been holding you back in the past. I've never loved anyone the way that I love you. I didn't expect to feel so much, but your stone-cold silence broke me. The pain is like grief. It feels like my lover died and I died along with them. All right, so these were some of your messages. If these were resonating with your storyline, Capricorn, let's start the reading. I'm going to first focus on the first person, person A, first line. Then we'll move to the second line, the second person, person B for me. And newcomers, please remember these are not gender-based. I'm not guessing which side Capricorn's on. But if this is your reading, you'll immediately pick up. All right, so person A, tell me why you're having so much of stress and anxiety and thinking and overthinking. Oh yes, this person is now missing their person. They feel they've been left behind. I think they feel they've been released. Am I right, person A? Yeah, they are feeling very insecure. They're feeling very imbalanced suddenly because I think this person has realized that they do want to go back. This is my soulmate. I think in this time of maybe no communication or something, they have realized they've had a spiritual awakening. Then what you going to do then? 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah. They feel that that person is not talking to them or doesn't want to communicate with them because of maybe their past behavior. Maybe this person was a liar, or they cheated, or they ghosted, or just ran away to see how much the other person would chase them or something. Maybe they wanted the other person to put in the work and prove to them or show them that they wanted a partnership with them. But now they feel that that plan of theirs, it backfired on them. Why do you feel this way? Seven of Swords in reverse, because now the other person is holding back. Yeah, I think this person was waiting. They were waiting. They were holding back. They were waiting for the other person to compete for their attention or fight for their attention. But I think the opposite happened. They feel they've been cut out now by the other person. Okay, so what about you, person B? How are you feeling right now? Person B says, well, I waited long enough. They couldn't make up their mind. Yes, I waited from 2 wands to 3 wands. I just kept waiting. And then I realized that, you know what? It's time that I turn my back on this connection. And yeah, no, I'm not going to be communicating because I don't want to invest any more into a connection where I got disappointed. Nothing really flourished here. This person, I guess, has made up their mind that they don't want me, or they are never going to step up or never take responsibility for their actions. Things have not been moving in a positive direction. I feel hurt. I feel disregarded. I feel like insulted almost, because they never saw my value and worth, because they're still acting stubborn. They still are not making up their mind whether they want something long term with me or not. So Emperor in reverse. One more. Yeah, person A feels they would, I don't know, they feel that that person only reaches out because they want to, play games with them or just show their power over them, or it's like my way or the highway. And that's an unfair situation. Okay, so what about the mutual energies and spirit for the first person? The first person is, I think, realize some truths. What is that? Yeah, or they're trying to find out the truth. I don't know. This person is spying on the other person. They're trying to gather information. They are devastated that the other person, who was so loving and kind and generous, maybe has given up. This person does have love for the other person. I don't think they've ever expressed it. Why not? King of Cups in the upright. Because they were not sure if they were good enough for the other person, or whether the other person would even want them. So they didn't want to look like a fool in case they, opened up their emotions and the other person said, no, I'm not interested. I mean, they didn't want to grieve the thought that, I'll speak my heart and then I'll be refused or something like that. Okay, so person B, what about you? Person B says, well, I'm listening to my own intuition, Omkaratarot, and the truth of the matter is that they never offered me anything. And I'm not going to wait around for an offer from them anyway, because you know what? My heart is still full of love. I mean, I'm not bitter, I'm not upset. In fact, all I'm looking for is happiness in my life, and I would have liked it with them, but they couldn't make up their mind. They were juggling me. They were, there was erratic communication. It was not consistent. So I had to kind of go within and listen to my intuition, and that's when I realized that maybe this is never going to happen. I started losing hope and faith in this connection because they gave me mixed signals. They were always playing hot and cold with me. Yeah, and too much time has gone by. So person B says, yeah, you know what, I've waited long enough, and their delay just tells me that they're not interested. So Ten of Swords in reverse. Why the Ten of Swords in reverse? Yeah, somebody here is, I think this is person B, who's still, their heart is open. I think they've taken back their courage and their power. They're stronger than ever before. They feel they've been hurt and betrayed, but they're accepting the ending. They're pulling out those swords that have been plunged into their back with this ending. And they're saying, you know what, I'm not going to carry the burden anymore. I don't want a connection which is maybe just passion and nothing else. If my emotional needs are not fulfilled, then I'd rather just walk away. I think person B is focusing on themselves, on putting in their own, putting in work into their own life right now because they've suffered, I think, a heartbreak. So that's what I have for you, Capricorn. Till next time, then, love and light. Take care. Namaste.